Hello, welcome to my Rogue Quest leveling guide. I'll be showing you where to level at certain levels and for solo and group content. Keep in mind group content is and will be faster if you have somebody to party up with around the same level, roughly within 25 levels at most. Any more, you will lose EXP, same including with mobs. As you can see here, I am level 65 on the Aztec server that released on December 19th, 2024. Starting this guide off, I would highly recommend you get these items when you possibly can. The first item is going to be the Shaman Apprentice Totem. Will be in the starting locations of the beginning areas near Maragon, Forest of Shadows, and Tuscona Valley inside the trade routes. You're going to want to head in here and go inside here into the middle where the small crypt is. I would highly recommend to be around level 10, level 12 to do this, just in case, because the boss does hurt a little bit and you will need a little bit of damage to get through here. At the end of the dungeon, you will find a black skeleton. You will kill that skeleton and get a chest. That chest will reset 4 p.m. PST and has a chance to give you the first item of the Shaman Apprentice Totem. The other one would be at a later time in Great Fissure in the bottom here. Same thing with the Elenium Shards. I would highly recommend getting somebody that is a little bit more leveled up to carry you through this, but at the very end, you have a chance to get the Corrupted Totem. When you activate these totems, you have for the next 10 seconds to get more EXP of either 100% or 150%. They do share cooldown, so keep that in mind. You'll be swapping them out at level 30. So, at the very beginning, you're going to be starting off in these starting areas of Tuscona Valley, Forest of Shadows, and Marigorn Levels 1 through 10 are going to be killing mobs through here, dewdrop stocks, a little bit of quest mobs in certain areas, and questings on the available quest. If you're not sure what's the next quest you can do, usually you want to do the blue quest if you can, called Royal Quest, that cannot be cancelled, and any of the level quests that are around your same level is what I recommend. After level 10 to level 20, you're going to be going into Elgor area. There's going to be quests all around this little area. There's going to be a few mobs down here. These are a little bit ranged, but are very easy to kill. Same thing would be going on top of here with some stocks. There's going to be a mob that spawns here that is a knight in this location and in this location. If you kill them, they do give a little bit more XP than the other mobs, which would be a nice little reward. There's also the mill basement. Inside here, you can go into an instance of a PvP zone, which gives you more EXP than these mobs over here in this little area, especially if you stay there a little bit longer, you get more EXP. But I would be very careful as it is a PvP zone. But if you say do come across a player and decide to confront in PvP, it does give you a good amount of EXP for killing a player. You also have an abandoned crypt dungeon here, and in this dungeon here, you'll be able to kill a boss. You can take either the left or the right side. Either side doesn't matter, but at the very end, you can kill a boss and get loot for some gear that you can put on and for some EXP. There are some quests that at certain breakpoints called Wanted at level 5 and level 10, level 15, I believe, and level 20. Every certain breakpoint, you're going to get quests for Wanted telling you to do a different dungeon. Those are good EXP if you can. I can show you all the dungeons later down in the video. Once you hit level 20, you're going to want to hit K on your keyboard and hit the talent and skills either on the bottom here on the HUD. You can choose whichever class you'd like. Once you select it, you press OK, but be very mindful that you cannot change this once you select it. You would have to make a whole new class. So be very mindful on which one you're going to make. Once you've selected your class that you wanted to play, you're going to go into Varlone and you're going to be doing your class quest. For mage users, your class quest is going to be here at the Academy of Magic. Go inside here, talk to your respected NPC, and they'll be able to give you level 20 gear. For assassins and thieves, you're going to go into the secret office over here. They'll have their respective quest. For warriors, it's going to be in the Academy of Strength up north to the right. Same deal. And then for accuracy for hunters and snipers, it's going to be right over here to the right of Varlone. Once you're level 20 and you've decided what class you want to play, you're going to head here into the middle of Varlone and get a few mandrakes of leaf. There's going to be a yellow one and a black one off the Velda, the potion merchant. She's going to sell them for 700 gold roughly, and she will let you reset your stats and your talent points. Talent points being this, or if you're unsure of the builds that you're wanting to go, I will have a class guide link on the bottom that I made earlier this month. And then for characteristics, it is a very fluctuating stat distribution points. Every level, if you get a new piece of armor, it's going to change your stat points. I would highly recommend always trying to have a little bit of HP. If you're low on HP, you're not going to be able to survive. Most of the time, you're going to be putting your points into either accuracy, intelligence, or strength. You would also like to have some luck. As you can see in the extra tab, you can see the hit of your current level, and then usually it should be 2-3 levels above you, but as level 65, it's going to show it at under level, as I believe it's bugged. After level 20, you're going to be going either into Iliar or into Iris, either or place work. You're going to have some quests down here in Iris area that'll give you a good amount of EXP and have some good mobs to kill. I would recommend killing these praying mantis as they have items that are worth a little bit of money, especially if you drop an item called the card of the praying mantis. But just kill mobs around here and you'll be able to get a good amount of EXP from 10 to 20. Over here, you're going to be killing some mobs over here on the oaks and the bumblebuzzes. Careful with the boars over here. And the acorns over here are going to be good EXP. You can also go into the PvP tower of level 20 to level 29, which is called the Tellurium Tower, which you will have to do a quest prerequisite in order to get in there. It will show you what quest you need once you click on the door. The quest is going to be indicated by a little blue crown, and that's how you'll be able to find it in your available quests to do that. Once you head in here, you can farm here, but just be mindful it is a PvP zone, but it will give good EXP if you stay there for a bit of time. But you will also have a debuff that lowers your damage, so be mindful of that. You'll be able to see your debuffs if you hover under your HUD on the top left here. Once you hit level 24, 25, I would recommend heading to the top right of Iliar to Tri-Lakes. There's going to be some moss eaters around the center of the map and the north center of the map. These mobs are very slow with a little bit of HP, but depending on the class, it'll be very easy to gather a good amount of them and kill them all together to try and activate your apprentice totem. You can drag these totems onto your hotbar and activate them if they have an activatable. This one does not, so I am unable to activate it, but you can click it to be able to activate it for your EXP bonus. During this time, this would be a nice spot to farm, as well as this underground lake, as you could get another EXP totem. In this underground lake, there's a special interaction with the boss, and getting to the boss, you would have to kill a special mob called the Firefly in this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner. Once you kill all those, the bridge will open, you'll be able to kill the boss. Be very mindful that this boss does hurt. I would recommend having another person with you that can either heal or tank or damage the boss. The totem that in question would be the Toad Totem, which is 2% EXP for killing monsters, which you will use at a very later time in the game, but a very easy one to get at the time being. For level 25, there's 2 spots for group content. There's the Baron Lockhart Island, which you can farm some ants here. Once you aggro one ant, the ant will aggro the rest of the ants. You can run the mobs through here and try and kill them in a centered location around this tree. Another spot's going to be going down south of Iris into the Valley of Winds. Be very mindful. These mobs will hurt, but if you can make it through here into Warlocks, you will have a safe made in here. You can click on the maiden to have a teleport, and you can save your respawn here. After that, you're going to head to Morris Forest. Be extra mindful here. There is mobs that will aggro on you without a second thought and will kill you if you're not paying attention. But you're going to head into here into the Werewolf Lair. you're going to stay to the right side here and kill all the mobs proceeding through here and try and kill the end boss. I would highly recommend 2 to 4 players here when doing this dungeon, as you'll be able to get a good amount of EXP for you and yourself. In order to repeat this dungeon, you're going to want to be in a party, and in that party, once you hit right click onto your menu, you're going to leave the party after you complete it, and you're going to re-invite your party members. Once you head back into the werewolf lair with the new party, it shall be reset and you'll be able to farm here again. Usually this is the method that most people would do. For solo players after level 30, recommended spots I would recommend would be Krokonic, which is going to be north of Arlone. You're going to head to the left side into Maragorn, into the top right of Krokonic. Over here you're going to be able to farm some frogs, some swamp zombies. They are slow, so they can be kited depending on your class. For melees, it will be a little bit harder. What I would recommend is Indianapolis. You're going to head south of Arlone to the bottom left of Great Fisher, to the left side of Indianapolis. Get the maiden right here for respawn and teleportations, and you're going to farm right here to the right. There's going to be crabs. If you hit one crab, they will aggro the other ones nearby. Sand harriers will be attack on sight, as well as scorpions. There's going to be a big ball called, I believe, a glutton that will go through here at times. You can aggro it and lead it inside here, and there will be guards that will kill it as soon as they see it. This way you can just clear it out and be able to farm back again. For level 35 and above for solo content, you will be staying in Krokonic. Most of this area will be able to be farmed pretty easily, as well as Vedok. Vedok has a few areas here, but be very mindful. It very much depends on the class. Some classes can do it a lot better than others. This is one area that you might have to be very careful of. If that area is too much, you can try Great Fisher and these ruby ants over here. Irex is here and Irex is here. Be very mindful. There is an elite at times here that will kill you, so be very cautious when roaming. Another area that you can go into is going to be going into Valley of Winds. Valley of Winds can give you a good amount of EXP as well from the Engineer Islands in this little area here and inside over here, but with the ruby ants and the sapphire ants. I would recommend prioritizing the ruby ants as they give you better loot, and this would be an efficient area for you to farm. As well as, do not forget about the corrupted totem that you can acquire from the Great Fish area. I would recommend just asking a higher level player to carry you through the dungeon. Most of them will be able to, and will just do it with a breeze for you. It'll be in Great Fisher on to the right of Elenium Shards. If you're with one person or more, the best spot would be in Makdar, which if you're in Warlocks, you're going to head to the left side of Warlocks to the Valley of Winds. This time we're going to cut across through the bottom, right through here, and go into Makdar. And you're going to head right here into the Temple of Mara and farm these dungeon over and over again, as they do give good EXP. I would also highly recommend you get the Corrupted Totem. As mentioned earlier, I would recommend going through Great Fisher over here in Elenium Shards, and I would recommend getting a higher level player to carry you through the dungeon. Most of the time they should be able to. Usually they'll be very nice to your players. This would be my recommendation, to try and get this Chaos Totem as soon as you can. If you don't get it one day, it's okay. This reset for the boss will be at 4 p.m. PST. Whatever time that may be, that's when it'll be reset, and most players will be on it during that time. Once you hit level 35 to level 40, depending on your group, what you can do is you can head north of Tri-Lakes, which will be north of Arlone, head to the top right of Iliar, into Aloha. You're going to go in here and go to the maiden here. Be very mindful, there's very strong monsters here, but the maiden isn't too far away. And depending on your group, you could farm 3 corridors around 40-45. You're going to want to kill at least 1 or 2 of the skeletons slowly and be able to farm some EXP from there, as they do give a good amount of EXP. It is a higher level, but depending on how your team composition is for a group, it would be a nice EXP grind for all 3 of you, 4 of you, or 2 of you, depending on how you have it set. Another good way would be Miscon in here. there's going to be the PvP tower. This would be a good amount of EXP, but be very mindful. It is a PvP zone. You can die to players, but you can also kill players that do give a good amount of EXP if killed. If you're a solo player, it's always recommended to check your quests, as quests do help you progress a lot. A good area would be the Xenos Tower. And here would be the PvP tower, and you can get a good amount of EXP through here. Most of your time, you're still going to be in Croconic these frogs in here, or you can swap over to Tadano. Tadano in this little area right over here. There's going to be a more concentration of worms and toads and squatches. Those are going to be able to give you a good amount of EXP, and crocodiles here as well, as they do give a little bit more EXP and are a bit slow. Just be very mindful of the hutlers. They are a ranged mob and they will hurt heavily, as well as keep in mind on the worms on the ground. You may not see them, but they will be attacking you, and you might die mysteriously until after you're dead. You'll see that they were attacking you. Or 40 per group, up the way to level 47, 48. You can farm Temple of Mara for that entire time instead of going into the 3 corridors over here. It all varies again how your group is and how you are as composition wise. Once you're level 45, EXP is going to be drastically harder to level up with, because of the quest that you unlock at 45 is very minimal. It is always good to keep an eye out and see what quests you have. Try and do quests that are closer to your level, as they do give a good amount of EXP and they do give gold. During this time, good areas that you can farm could be Archon. Farming a little bit of skeletons here in this little area can reward you with good loot and a little bit of old bones for a daily that you'll be using for future levels. In this area as well, in Tadano, you can keep farming here, or into Shamba. Be very mindful, this will vary on your class, but this is also an area that you can farm depending. Another area that you could do again would be going back to the PvP zone, as this is a good EXP over time with the bonuses that you get. Just be very mindful to carry a purification of Spirits of Despair, as you will, the longer you stay there, you will be reducing how much damage you deal for the Despair. These can be bought with Alchemist Ruins while you're inside the little area of PvP. Once you've hit level 50, depending on where you've been farming, level 50 becomes very intriguing at where you level at, depending if you're solo or your group, because depending on your class, you can get away with farming at a level 60 area that you shouldn't be farming at, but you can be farming at. The way you'll be heading here is through Aloha. You're going to want to make it all the way through here to North Kabuk, and on the top left, you're going to head to Wasteland. Through here, you're going to be very careful. These mobs do hurt and will kill you very quickly, but you can usually run away from them. Head to the right side of Aranta here and get the maiden here. Once you've saved your point here and you've acquired that point, you're going to head through the left side here and make your way all the way through Alatika. You're going to head through here and get to the right side of Battle Shores. And once you get to Battle Shores, you're going to go through here down the middle. Be very mindful of the goblins in this little area, as they do have range and will one-shot you. And be very mindful of this little area here. There's some venomous Angelis, and they will jump on you and poison you, as well as goblin grenadiers. So be very careful when going through here. Usually, depending on class, you can get through here easier. Some classes might be harder. But once you make it through here, through Kabul, you're going to want to try and see of making your way through here. Be very mindful of the allied Merkers, as they will kill you in one hit. But once you make it through here, you're going to be in the safe haven, and you're going to want to place a safe portal here. And once you're here, you're going to farm some Boratoots. They're a level 66 mob, but they are earth. The reason why that is important is because most of your skills are going to be very easily damageable depending on your class. For like mages, it will be Firewall. For hunters, it'll be Arrow Shower, depending if you have the bonus of your Fire Shower. And depending on how you play the class, you'll be able to get away with farming multiple of those. with using Corrupted Totem, you should be able to get a good amount of EXP. Another option is, again, going back to 3 corridors, that it's a good EXP point until level 55, but your main leveling can be over here in Kabul. You can even do this as early as level 48, 47, even 41, because you'll be in range to get the EXP, but be very mindful they do hurt and they do apply a debuff that will bleed and kill you. But this is a very possibility of farming, as this is where I personally farmed once I hit level 50 to farm here, as a hunter can get away with farming this little area a little bit easier than other classes can. And if you're wondering how I was able to do that, check down below on my guide. I will show you this exact talent points that I use when farming during this little area. Keep in mind this can be solo or group content. I would recommend doing it with a group. Like I said, solo would be better in this cases if you're able to, because you get more EXP solo. But as in a group, if you're able to pull more, you can kill more and get yourself more EXP. Again, it very much depends on your classes. If you are a melee class, it will be very much harder to kill these mobs, where I would recommend trying to go into either Tuaton for a little bit of EXP from these bone rattlers and skeletons. Another one could be over here in Trogol and kill some of these mobs here, the dandelions. They will be a little bit more difficult, but they can process you into starting the EXP dailies that you will get from their loot. Once you hit level 55, you're going to be starting to do a lot of dailies. That's where a bunch of dailies start unlocking for you, and leveling becomes a lot easier. You're going to go to Professor Hobble and do his main quest. It's going to be called Power Shard. It's going to be requiring you to do multiple quests, and during that time, if you can do those quests, you're going to unlock some dailies, some of them being like Shira halls that you're going to have to go up to North Aloha. Other ones are going to be dungeons that you're going to be unlocking, like the old puppet factory. These are going to be areas that you can farm out as well, depending if you're 55, 60, and such. But I would highly recommend trying to do the power shard and see if somebody else that is higher level that can help you out with some of them, as some of them are going to be very difficult to kill, as they require you to go to the abandoned mines, and it's very difficult to get through all of this unscathed, especially through the mines floor 3. Once you hit level 58, you're going to be unlocking more daily quests through other NPCs, such as the Elder, the guard right here, and a bunch of more in the North Kabuk area, where, as you can see, these are all daily quests that you can do and clear your quest for. During this time, you're just going to be mainly farming out these mobs here and doing the daily quests to level up from 58 to level 60. As well as the level 60 zone is a good amount of EXP. I wouldn't underestimate it. Plus, you can get some good loot from there. If you kill fire devourers, be very mindful of the acorns. I'm not sure of the name exactly, but the big giants that are walking around. Once you hit level 60, level 61 is mainly going to be dailies. I would highly recommend waiting on your quest for Aranta. Reason being is because of the gold that you can get as a bonus, as it gives you a good amount of gold and an extra 20,000 to 15,000 for being level 65. And this is why I would recommend waiting, because most of your leveling is going to be from dailies. Every give or take, if you do all the dailies from level 60, because you unlock more at level 60, you're going to be getting around 20 to 30% EXP from turning those dailies in. Dailies can also be shown right here in the Father Patrick and the Zombic. They're going to have dailies here. There's also going to be another daily over here in Riskon into Mushroom right here with the Rob, and then a bunch more in North Kabuk, Aloha. There's going to be one in Vedok right here with Basta, and another one over here in Tadano with this Squelcher. Those dailies are going to be your main source of leveling up. Once you hit level 61, depending on your class, I would highly recommend you go into Miskon, into the Xenos Tower, and farm in the PvP zone. The reason why I would recommend farming there is because there is a certain mob on the bottom right of the map that you can farm that can give you a good amount of EXP. Depending how you are in your class and how your playstyle has gone, you will get a lot more EXP than farming other areas of mobs. Right here is going to be the PvP zone for the level 61 to 65. You're going to want to farm the Borutos that are going to be in this little area right here. And depending on your class, you can lead them around through here and even kite them all the way around here. It highly changes and varies depending on what class you are, but I would highly either doing it solo or with a friend and split the EXP between yourselves. But please don't forget about the corruption totem when you kill them, as they can give you a very hefty amount of EXP. But most case scenario, you're leveling from 61 to 65 is going to mainly be done with the daily quests that you acquired through level 55, level 58, and level 60. During this time, those will be giving you the most EXP, give or take roughly every 3 days will give you a level if you farm a little bit of extra on the side with the corruption totem. Hopefully this guide was able to help you out on your situation for leveling and any questions that you may have. Another thing that I like to add in, if you'd like to expedite your farming, one thing you can add in is these boxes here. They will give you 100% EXP for an hour times 6. If you are lucky enough to grab one, you can buy these off gold off either players or the market, which is still players, but it's a chance you can get a little bit bonus EXP. And other things are like the 4-leaf clover that can give you an extra boost. You can use these to level up and accelerate your progress, but just be mindful that this is will take a lot of your gold, and it will be very timed because you are limited to an hour and then only 30 minutes on the clover. I hope you liked. Please subscribe and give me any comments for any improvements. This is my first video, so please be aware that this guide is going to be very long and very kind of boring and very unprofessional, but you know, we're all starting somewhere. Have a good day. Bye bye.